Dust rose in thick clouds over the deserted road leading to the town of Dusterville. The summer had been dry. The heat scorched the earth, and the sky cloudless and bleached hung over the endless prairies like a sheet of fire. A lone rider entered the town. His hat was pulled low over his eyes, his jacket faded from the sun, and the holster on his belt had darkened from sweat and time. This was Logan McRae. The townsfolk didn't know him. He spoke no unnecessary words. While his horse drank from a trough, he stepped into the saloon called the Old Coyote. The bartender, a man named Jed, recognized a man with a past by the way he walked. A tired tune played on the saloon's old piano as Logan's eyes swept across the room like those of a hunter. In the room above the saloon, Logan opened an old map. On the back was a faded photograph of two boys. One was himself, the other his younger brother, Tommy. The one he had buried 10 years earlier after a failed bank robbery. Tommy had been shot in the back, and all Logan had left was a promise to find the one responsible. He began asking questions around town, listening carefully to every word. Someone recalled that on the night Tommy died, a man named Grady Blake had been nearby, a man who now owned nearly the entire county. Rich, influential, dangerous. Rumors said he once held a revolver before he ever carried a gold-tipped cane. Logan wasn't welcome at Blake's ranch. One of the workers, an old cowboy named Sam, had once been Logan's friend. Now he worked for Blake. He looked at Logan with a heavy heart. A shadow of the past passed between them of friendship and disappointment. That evening, in the saloon, a confrontation erupted. One of Blake's men, known as Buck, provoked Logan. A fight broke out. The bartender struggled to stop the bloodshed. The sheriff, long tied to Blake, watched everything from a distance. The town knew the law had long since been bought. Morning came in silence. The town stood still. On the main street under the burning sun, two men faced each other, Logan and Grady. Their eyes were full of history, pain, and hatred. Blake believed that power and fear made him untouchable, but Logan knew the truth. Years ago, Blake had given the order to shoot Tommy in the back for gold and influence. A single shot rang out. Blake collapsed to the ground. The crowd was silent. No one moved. Only Sam stood aside, head bowed. He knew things could have been different if different choices had been made. Logan didn't stay. He didn't wait for a trial. He accepted no congratulations. He simply rode out the same way he came. The saddle creaked, and the wind carried dust down the road. He found no peace, but he kept his word. For a long time, the town of Dusterville would remember the man who came out of the desert to remind them that justice could still arrive even years later, even when everyone had forgotten. Sometimes to find peace, a man has to ride through hell, and Logan McRae knew that better than anyone.